Debbie Hines on the line with us. She is a trial lawyer, former prosecutor, really knows her stuff, and a legal and political commentator over at LegalSpeaks.com, and has been keeping us up to date on what's going on in the George Zimmerman trial for the murder of Trayvon Martin. Debbie, welcome back.
Thank you, Tom. Glad to be back.
Thank you. The thing that keeps haunting me about this, Debbie, is if you look at the people who are on death row in the United States, if you look at the people who are serving long-term sentences in the United States for violent crimes, and you look at the just raw statistics nationwide, although in some states it's far worse than others, by and large, when black people kill or attack white people, they go to jail or get killed. When white people kill or attack black people, they don't. And tell me if I'm just crazy here. I've had people call up and accuse me of being some sort of racist or reverse racist or whatever, but I am strongly of the opinion that if Trayvon Martin had been the guy who was following George Zimmerman and had a gun in his holster, that virtually there wouldn't even be a trial. He would have been in jail, probably on death row, so fast it would make our heads spin. Exactly,
and that's the inherent bias of the system. I mean, and I actually have a blog on that. I don't know if you read it today, that basically is saying that if it were reversed and it was Trayvon Martin who had lived and George Zimmerman had died, this would be a whole nother story. There would not be any talk about whether we could get a conviction for second-degree murder, whether we could get a conviction for manslaughter, right, whether or not there is reasonable doubt. None of this would be in evidence. And that's why 40% of the jail population is African Americans, although the African American males, although they make up only 6% of the population.
Right.
The sad commentary on our society, and I have to agree with you.
Yeah, okay, so then that said, and if we're in agreement on that in both principle and practical terms, am I correct in my understanding that the white judge in this case has by and large said that issues of race may not be discussed?
She has said that in the opening statement that they could not say it was racially profiling. They could say it was profiling, but not racially profiling. And I'm not even clear why she said that. I mean, honestly, I think Deborah Nelson is an excellent judge, so I'm not going to distract or take away anything from her. I mean, she has moved the case along. She has done what she has had to do in terms of actually trying this case so that it didn't go on for 6 months. But I don't agree with a couple of her rulings, and that would be one of them.
Perhaps she was trying to reduce the probability or the possibility of an appeal or a successful appeal.
I don't think, maybe not so much as an appeal issue, because there was evidence of it, and in order to have an appellate issue, you have to have that there was, in this instance, that there wouldn't have been any proof of it, and they did have that, but maybe because she is from the area, she's trying to diffuse the whole racial issue.
Right.
Because judges are human, too. At the end of the day, judges are people. They're human also.
Right. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Sadly.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched the trial today. I've been on the air and I've been doing show prep, and I did catch some of the snippets from yesterday. But bring us up to date on what's happened. It's been a couple days since you've been on our program.
Fine.
Bring us up to date on what's going on.
Certainly. Well, we've had from the defense started their case on Friday in earnest, Friday afternoon, and from Friday and Monday, I just would call it Friends and Family Day. And what they had were basically friends and family, mom, uncle, friends, neighbors, who basically have supported George and know that the voice on the 911 tapes is George Zimmerman. How they know it, I don't know, but it's basically been the friends and family who are supporting him, who have given to his cause, who have bought the suit that he even had on in court yesterday, one of the witnesses testified to. And then today, we started to move more into the expert phase. And so what we had was a forensic pathologist from the defense side who says that from his review of Dr. Bale, the state's pathologist's report, and George Zimmerman's account of the report, that he concludes that everything happened the way George Zimmerman said it happened. That's, in essence, the bottom line for Dr. Bale, Dr. Matteo. But he is a prominent forensic pathologist, and he has testified in a lot of cases. Now, the prosecution was able to get some points in, and that this is also the person that testified in the Field Spectrum case, and he also testified in the other cop case who had killed a couple of wives, and they didn't turn out so well. They turned out to be guilty verdicts.
So we have a celebrity.
They got a little bit in about the fact that just to get to the bias of the jurors, that this pathologist also believes in killing animals for research, and there are dog owners and animal owners on the jury.
Oh, that's interesting. So basically, we have a celebrity testifier or whatever, a witness,
right.
A celebrity witness who's a pathologist. This is not the official state pathologist.
No. The official state pathologist, and my God, he had some issues with things that he testified to. So this is the defense forensic pathologist that they have called to counter what some of the things that Dr. Bale has said. So he's gotten into some specifics, such as that the gun could have been anywhere from 0.4 inches away to 4 feet away from Trayvon Martin. He's gotten in that he thinks that George Zimmerman was on the bottom, that Trayvon Martin was on the top. He's just gotten in a lot of things that basically counter everything that the state has said. I mean, he says, and I just find this unbelievable, that the injuries that George Zimmerman sustained to the back of his head, that those injuries were very severe injuries. And no one said that. Even the detectives who basically believed George Zimmerman's story didn't say that.
Right. They just put a bandage on it and said,
exactly.
Go home. Yeah, amazing. So, I keep hearing from kind of professional commentators and people who know the law that this looks like it could be a toss-up, that probably there'll be a conviction on a lesser charge, manslaughter or some variation thereof, but that the second-degree murder bar, which requires proof of malicious intent, or the exact wording of that, is a tough bar to hop over, that the prosecution may not have done that.
Well, the prosecution made some mistakes, but from the beginning, Tom, it was always a difficult case for second-degree murder. And you're talking about a second-degree murder case with all the variances and nuances that we're talking about, where the victim is black. When you're talking about that there's no one who actually saw what happened, and you're having to really piece it together from all the different witnesses. And that's always makes out for a tough case. And the defense, to really be quite honest, they're putting on a pretty good case to kind of sort of diffuse. So it basically boils down to, who do you want to believe? Do you believe the state's witnesses, or do you believe Zimmerman's witnesses? And the state has the burden of proof. But as to manslaughter, I definitely think that they can get a conviction on manslaughter, and I would be sorely disappointed if they were not able to up to this point. The trial is not finished, it is not over, but up to this point, of what I've heard, there's enough for them to get a conviction on manslaughter.
And if they got that, what might Zimmerman face?
Well, here's the interesting thing. I mean, everybody is concerned about whether it's second degree or manslaughter. Second degree carries a maximum of life in prison in the state of Florida, and manslaughter carries a maximum of 30 years.
Whoa.
But here's why I think it's interesting, because up where I practice in Maryland and in this area, second degree carries a maximum of 30 years. So it doesn't matter as much to me what you call it, as long as hopefully with the evidence that the state puts on, that they'll be able to come forward and get that conviction.
Right. So if they got a conviction of manslaughter, Zimmerman could get 30 years in jail, and at his age, that could be damn close to life. I mean, that could be a large chunk of his life.
Exactly.
Who does the sentencing?
The judge.
The judge. Okay, very interesting. Debbie Hines, trial lawyer, former prosecutor, legal political commentator. Her website, her blog over at LegalSpeaks.com. Brilliant stuff, great reading. Get over to LegalSpeaks.com and check it out. Debbie, thanks for dropping by again.
Oh, glad to be here, Tom. Thank you.
Always great talking with you.
Take care.
We will be right back.